I think that people in other parts of the country, other parts of the world, have this idea that San Francisco is such a liberal, progressive place. But I think that when it comes to economics and housing policy, people need to understand that San Francisco hasn't been that liberal and that progressive. And you know, I went to school with Scott Wiener. And he and I just have a different view of the world. But you know, because of people like Scott, Mayor Ed Lee, people need to understand that in liberal, progressive San Francisco, the ghost of Ronald Reagan is alive. And the policies of Ronald Reagan around supply side, you know, are basically what Scott Wiener and Ed Lee are talking about. You know, what has happened in San Francisco is that supply side has been driving housing policy. And this is what they mean by that. They believe that all you got to do is build and build and build and build, and that it doesn't matter what you build, and that in fact, even if all you do is build luxury housing, which is what they have been building, that somehow that will trickle down and help the middle class and help the poor, right? And that's the theory of, you know, trickle down economics. Well, it didn't work under Reagan. It hasn't worked under Wiener and Ed Lee in San Francisco. The luxury housing that was built has not helped the working class or the middle class. Is actually helping what is intended to be served by, which is the ultra rich, ultra wealthy. And so not surprisingly, lo and behold, when all you do is build luxury housing, what happens is the middle class and the working class are pushed out, and that's precisely what has been happening to San Francisco in the last few years. And the fact that you have a presence by tech has kind of sort of exacerbated that because as much as tech can be very progressive on social issues, when it comes to economic issues, you know, a lot of these tech folks are actually to the right of Ronald Reagan. I mean, they really believe in the free market and believe that, you know, you just let the market, you know, do its thing and have government get out of its way. The problem with the market, especially housing, the housing market, is that, you know, the number one objective is profit, right? And so when you leave it to the market to just develop housing, what happens is the market develop the most profitable type of housing, which is not just luxury housing, but actually ultra luxury housing, because the demand is there, because the market is such that a high demand comes not just from within San Francisco, but actually other parts of the country, other parts of the world, people who want to have a second home or third home and want to live in San Francisco, even if it's just for the weekend, you know? And so that's what's happened, you know, that Reagan supply side economics has controlled housing policy in San Francisco, and that's why we're in the mess that we're in, and we haven't built housing for the people that actually have made San Francisco, the working class, low income, and the middle class. And that's ultimately the question facing San Francisco. Will there still be a middle class in San Francisco? And I think that if, you know, Wiener and Lee have their way, the answer will be no. We're fighting that.